Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tech Talk with Dan Harley. This is Tech Talk episode number 102, how I accurately predicted the path of Hurricane Irma. We recorded on September 14th, 2017. Now, if you folks have been following the show since episode 100, you notice I'm changing the format a little bit, and I'm bringing in a guest on the show. So I'll get Dale Perryman back on the show here. Let me get him on the air. Hi, Dale. How you doing?
Hi, Dan. Dan, the hurricane predictor.
The hurricane predictor, the knower and seer of all things, and when it comes to weather stuff.
That should be a superpower if it's not.
If it's not, it sure should be. But it's not really a superpower. It's just having a lot of information in front of me.
Yeah, don't be humble. Don't be humble, Dan.
Okay, I'm a god then. So
that's going too far.
Yeah. So anyway, like I say, we had a crazy week. We had earthquakes and God's pissed. Irma came through and hit Florida. We had a big earthquake in Mexico. All this crazy stuff. Now I had some friends down in Florida in direct path of Hurricane Irma, and I was watching things unfold. I jumped online and see what information I can get, and frankly, I relieved that nobody that I know of was really hurt or anything. So a little uncomfortable with the power stuff like that, but they got through it. But what I found interesting, I actually had a lot more information at my fingertips than they did. I was kind of being the relay of weather conditions that were exactly where Irma was compared to where they were. So we're going to talk about that today.
Nice.
Yeah, and by the way, I had last episode 101 had Keith on the line, Keith Anthony Taylor, and we were talking about the hypnosis.
Did he hypnotize you?
I don't know.
Maybe you're still under.
Say the magic word, maybe you'll start cackling.
Yeah, you'll turn into a chicken.
Turn into a chicken or something like that. Oh, by the way, my wife, we just had a
she turned into a chicken?
Not quite, but she had a second batch of chicks that just hatched a couple days ago. So far, got 4 or 5. I think hopefully we get about 20 or 30 out of this brood here before it's too long here. So, anyway.
Nice transition there to the chicken.
Yeah. So anyway, with Keith, what we found out with them was, and too, we've been working a lot with the technology and VIP stuff and all that. With the right technology, he's able to do hypnosis virtually anywhere. Across the pond, a country, next door. Literally online. So we were going through all the different technologies of how he's able to do it, as well as the challenges he's had, and the similar challenges you and I have had doing VIP stuff.
Okay.
So anyway, you folks out there in podcast land, if you want to learn more about it, go to the episode number 101 here. So.
How is he using it? Is he using it for smoking cessation, or what's his main way that he's using hypnosis on the internet?
A lot of stress relief, smoking stuff, a lot of stress relief and stuff like that. So he's been doing it for quite a long time. We've all been kind of hooked up together. So.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, some quick announcements before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this particular episode. First of all, you folks out there, thanks for watching and listening. That's very much appreciated. That's why I keep producing these episodes and why I have a sponsor. So if you're listening to iTunes or Android podcast directories, or if you're watching on YouTube, or you found us on Facebook, please rate the show, submit a review, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, some question, kudos, like my page, all that good stuff. That's helps my podcast show grow, or the channel grow, all that stuff. So if you need to find any of that stuff, the fastest way to do it is go to the website, primeconcepts.net. That's primeconcepts.net. You'll find links to the podcast show, the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, all that good stuff there. Also, a lot of free tutorials on business-related internet topics, which also includes my favorite tutorial, free and almost free ways to advertise your business online. So please pass the word, share the episode, and tell others about the podcast and YouTube channel. Quick legal disclaimer. products mentioned in this and other episode of Tech Talk with Dan Harley could be paid as affiliate commissions, promotion commissions, or the liking by the product or service provider. In other words, I might try to sell you something, and while I'm at it, I'm going to try to sell you something here. And Dale, I think you know about this. Carbonite had sponsored us. I'm going to put the link online here. I'm really proud to have been Carbonite had offered to sponsor the show and give me a kind of for you folks out there a pretty cool offer. If you don't back up your computer, and important is you can risk losing in a split second. It happened to me a lot. Your accounting files, personal documents, family pictures, and all this stuff can be gone instantly. And that's why you need something like Carbonite. Carbonite is a cloud backup service, which it's renowned for being very easy to use and install and very easy to use. No technical skills needed. Backs up everything on your computer automatically. It also has high quality encryption. So those of you who are concerned about HIPAA compliance or have an industry or compliant related issues, they have certain services for that for you, and where your files and data are very well protected and secured. No worries, no hassles, very affordable, and for less than 20 cents a day to back up and protect your entire computer. Again, the partnership with the Carbonite allows you to this offer where we can use our Carbonite Carbonite free for 15 days. If you go to primeconstant.net/link/Carbonite, which you'll see the link on the page on the screen here, you can get that free trial. Try it out for yourself and find out exactly how easy to use. So anyway, go there, and we'll appreciate you doing that and help sponsor our show further. Also, if any problems with your business, if you're spending too much time on your website, too much money on your websites, or internet advertising and not getting anywhere, if you need to go online with your business and don't understand how, give us a call. Let's get a free consultation. If businesses come to me, come to my company, and we steer in the right direction and get the aim towards success. And we're very, very, very proud that dozens of companies have done that. Phone number is 760-247-4814, or find more information at primeconstant.net. All right, back to the show, Dale. Anyway, we're talking about Tech Talk episode number 102, how I accurately predicted the path of Hurricane Irma. So, anyway, a quick story. Like I say, many friends of mine live in Florida, and as I told you a little bit earlier, I'm kind of an amateur meteorologist because I used to ski a lot. So I would get on whatever out the Weather Channel or the local news stations or whatever's out there and look at storm patterns and stuff like that, so I can predict where I want to be to go skiing. So from that had kind of grown my amateur fascination with meteorology. And now modern days here, we have lots of information available to us, and which brought us to Hurricane Irma. I have lots of friends in Florida, and obviously we're all concerned about that. If you listen to all the news coming out, Irma is really, really big, Category 4, Category 5. They thought it was going to be the biggest storm ever, and so naturally I was concerned about that. So I jumped on Weather Underground that morning to try to track what's going on. And I got online just when Irma was taking a right turn and crossed over the Keys between Key West and on one of the smaller islands. Thanks to Weather Underground, which we're going to talk a lot about here, there's lots of information available to know and all this stuff, satellite stuff, plus all these independent weather tracking stations everywhere. So there was 2 stations on both sides of Irma as this hurricane was going through over the Keys. So I was able to get a pretty good idea of wind speed from Irma. Even for that, at Key West, which is a ways away from Florida, I was able to identify that Irma is slowing down, is losing some speed. So so I instead of being a Category 5 wiping out Florida, it's going to be pretty bad, but not as bad as it could be. And on top of that, there with the wind direction stuff like that, I was able to kind of predict that Irma was going to hit around Naples, Florida, where all the other forecasts say it was going to kind of go up the coast and kind of glance around along the coast, which is about a 40, 50-mile difference from where I said I thought it was going to hit. And again, I'm not really a professional meteorologist. I just played that on TV. But I was right dead on. Right dead on. It hit Naples, right smack underneath Naples, and it was about 40 miles off of what everybody else predicted. This is strictly because I watched the information on Weather Underground. So, and on top of that, all this information I was kind of posting on Facebook, and a lot of my friends are saying, Dan, you're way ahead of everything we're getting from the local news. So we need you to kind of feed this along to us. So I did that for most of the day. And when the hurricane hit on land, I was able to, precisely almost to the minute, say it's here. We watched the eye of the storm. And as it got more inland, there's a lot more of these weather stations, so we're able to get more readings of wind speeds and barometric pressure, and all that. And so we were able to track it very well. That Irma was in fact losing it was already down to about 60, 70 miles per hour by the time it got to Naples. So it was a hurricane still, but kind of a not nearly as bad as it could be. So big relief. And I got friends of mine that were literally in the path. They're within 5 to 10 miles of the path of Irma. So I said it said the wind is pretty bad, but not that bad, as bad as it could be. So they were really relieved about that. I did say too, there's lots and lots of water everywhere, so be careful. And I tracked that for most of the day to the point that Irma essentially became a tropical storm. So that's what we want to talk about. Now, Dale, you kind of grew up in Oklahoma and Dallas and stuff like that.
Right. So I'm more accustomed to tornadoes.
Mm-hmm. So there's lots of folks that have, provide their weather station information to Weather Underground. Which helps out, all this information, including the standard issue. Well, I can say the traditional information we get greatly benefits everybody. It helps people predict whether tornadoes, which direction tornadoes are going to go, how strong it is, all that good stuff. So,
about the earthquake in Mexico, were there tsunamis surrounding that?
As far as I know, no, because it wasn't on Weather Underground. So I was too busy watching the hurricane. But
okay.
As far as I know, there wasn't much a
tsunami
activity.
When it was first announced, they had thought there might be tsunamis related to.
Well, you know what? Something else though is the storm surge information, because Weather Underground provides that too. And what I found interesting was because of the direction how the Irma was turning, which is counterclockwise. First of all, they thought the storm surge was going to be as much as 10 to 15 feet. It turned out to be, I think Miami was the highest, about 3.5, 4 feet, something like that. But interesting on the east side, there was a rise in the sea level, 2, 3, 4 feet. On the west side there was a drop in sea level, 2, 3, 4, 5 feet.
Did you see the videos of the ocean where the water was gone?
Oh yeah. In fact, another thing about Weather Underground, there's people that submit videos or pictures wherever they're at. So I've actually seen that stuff, frankly, before we got on to the mainstream, social networking stuff.
What apps do you use on your phone that are weather related, and which ones do you like the most?
Well, that's come down to Weather Underground. I got Weather Channel stuff like that, but definitely Weather Underground. It's
is there an
Wonderground?
Is there an app for your phone that's Weather Underground?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's Wonderground or Weather Underground. It's a free app.
Okay.
Okay, and the website's free as well. And another benefit about that app, it's not only does it provide weather information, but you can participate. Okay, so let's say
Right.
if you're in a close to a tornado, or something like that, you can take a picture and submit it to the app, and the app will
Mm-hmm.
automatically tag it where you're at and all that stuff, and post it so other people can see it. Or if you got a video, do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not just something to look at weather; you can be a part of it. You know?
Okay.
So,
All right.
um,
I'm gonna. There's a weather underground, and then there's a WU storm. Two apps.
there's the one that's weather underground. WU.
Well, this one has a WU storm, and then there's another one that says Weather Underground LLC. I'll just get both of them.
Get both, and they're free probably. Free to install. They'll charge you later. So anyway,
Okay, cool.
and so like I say, Weather Underground, it pulls information from NOAA and other sources, and as well, like I said, the community crowdsourced type of information.
Noah, he built an ark.
NOAA, yeah, he
didn't
made the ARC, yeah, the ARC guy.
The ark guy.
So anyway, oops, sorry, I knocked my microphone around a little bit here.
And I know, Dan, that if you're going to be the weather superhero, you'll need to learn how to pronounce meteorology.
Mm-hmm.
Just some
Well,
feedback.
I'll take my Asian. I'll take my literary Asian license for that. So.
Oh, so is that qualify under the American with Disabilities Act?
Asian with Disabilities Act.
Okay, Asians with Disabilities Act.
So,
All right, then you got to pass, my friend.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, back to this community supported information or crowdsourced information. I think right now, if I'm correct, the information I'm getting, Weather Underground has over 250,000 weather stations out there they're plugged into. These are weather stations that you and I can have at our house, and we simply have internet plugged in the internet, and that information, basic information, is piped into Weather Underground. So times 250,000 these weather stations, that's lots and lots of information that's available that your local weather guy simply doesn't have unless they access Weather Underground. So you loading it up?
I'm loading it up, and now I'm putting it into my file folder of the weather file folder.
Huh.
Do you use an iPhone?
Nope. I use the
Yours the Android guy.
we should have another podcast about what do you think about that iPhone 8 is coming around.
Or iPhone 10.
iPhone 10, yeah. So,
That's the exciting one.
yeah. So what do you use for up until you install this app? What do you use to access weather?
You know, I'll bring it up here and I'll show you. I used Radar Scope. You pay $6 or $7 one time, but it's real accurate. Kind of gives you a radar so I can see what storms are moving. And there's been times where I could follow Suzanne, my wife, in real time while she was driving and give her instructions on whether or not she was going to beat the storm or not.
Okay. Yeah.
But I forgot. I told her she would outrun it, but I didn't tell her unless you stop for dinner. So when she decided to stop for dinner, then she couldn't outrun it. But yeah, I just assumed she would keep driving, but that's not necessarily a correct assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife has the same thing too. She's got selective hearing. So. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did I just publish that? So.
Oh no.
Oh no. In trouble now. So, yeah, back to my friends. Like I say, they use the standard issue apps plus the local weather people, which you'd think they'd be on top of everything. But one friend of mine, she said, no, you're way, way ahead of everybody. Nobody where they're at knows where the storm's at. And I was able to tell them, well, it's literally over one of the schools. and
Oh wow.
over this one highway, and and then wind speeds and all that stuff. And what's cool about it is they overlay the radar and satellite images along with where these stations are at. So you
Right.
can actually click on that station, figure out found the wind and the temperature and the speed and all that stuff, and so you have a much better idea of what's going on with that storm than just simply looking at the radar.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, one of the things that's rarely used in the iPhone is you can share your location in real time so somebody else can watch and see exactly where you are. So a lot of times what I'll do is look and see exactly where she is and what the storm's doing, and that way I could tell her if she needs to pull over or keep outrun it.
so now you can go a step further.
Now I can go a step further in my step towards superhero weather status.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still ski?
It's been a little while. I got my skis out. I was gonna go this last year because we had a little bit more weather in California than usual. But never did get around to doing it.
How far do you have to travel to ski?
Well, fortunately, California, I don't have to travel maybe 30 miles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And in Southern California, we have, that's the beauty of Southern California. I can be within 2 hours. I can be skiing, and then down to the beach.
Awesome.
So
Well, let's schedule a skiing trip sometime.
sure. But nowadays, we haven't had a really cold winter over here. So now they do a lot of artificial snow.
Okay.
And it's a different type of ski. It's more like you need ice skates rather than skis. It gets pretty
Okay.
icy, and especially what happens during the daytime, everything kind of thaws out, and then in the nighttime it kind of freezes. So you have these moguls that, during the daytime it's slow. There are slow runs because it's all mush.
Right.
And then as it transitions towards night, it freezes. So these got these ice hills hit, and because it's not mush anymore, all of a sudden your ski wax it's not holding. You're flying through these things and nail these ice hills.
Makes it
And
harder to stop.
it gets pretty interesting, to say the least. So, but because we're so close, I used to ski 3-4 times a week.
That's awesome.
So that's the reason why I got more into skiing, and then I got more into, looking at the meteorology and all that stuff. And so I don't know, Utah, Colorado, Northern California, Nevada. I missed an opportunity in Arizona at Apache, and some other places I've been to. So,
Ski Apache. There's one in New Mexico.
yep, that is the southernmost resort in the North America.
That's
And
where I
it's
spent. That's where I was
Exactly.
stranded on
That's
the
where you got
mountain.
stranded. Yeah, yeah. I remember. Yeah, I recall that we did a big show on that. Yeah, the latitude there is actually lower than San Diego. So
You're Mr. Weather Statistics man,
hmm
which is, I guess, it's part of the whole development plan for superhero status.
yeah, it is. So one other thing here too is, in fact, after all this was done, I got some friends of mine that said thank me very much for, getting involved. This is, well, next time if you want to get involved, you should, jump on the Weather Underground community, get your weather station and plug it into your house, so that next time a storm comes, you'll literally have information at where you live. So a lot
That's
of them
a
are
great
going to jump
idea.
on that.
You may save my life at the next tornado.
Or know that your house got destroyed before you know it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, so actually it's not that expensive. In fact, Weather Underground has a page where you can, buy the recommended equipment. It runs anywhere from like $140 to about $2,000 or more actually. And most of it, the less expensive way, they got the wind speed, temperature, wind speed, barometric pressure, 5 or 6 different things. Basic stuff. That's basically pretty much all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Other ones get a little bit more complex. They got cameras and all kinds of stuff involved.
Yeah.
But the basic stuff, $140, and on top of that, most of these equipment, you can have it your own internal displays from the weather station and pipe it into your own computers and your own app, as well as piping it into Weather Underground. So that's something I find impressive. I thought initially the cost of this equipment used to be pretty up there. When I started to kind of look at Weather Underground, these stations were $500,000 actually, a little more than $1,000. Now they're getting to be a little bit much more affordable. So
most things technologically related. What's the code that says things go computing speed doubles and goes down in price? Moore's law or something. Yeah.
Well, even Moore's saying that his law doesn't apply anymore. So no more. It's called no Moore's law now. So
no Moore's law.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so that is what I wanted to cover in this. So like I say, Weather Underground is one of my favorite apps, for many reasons, and it it could be a lifesaver, and I'm sure a lot of folks out there in Florida had this app, and a lot of them wish they had it too. So,
well, you sold me on it. So you got one additional recruit as of today.
One free app that you can install. Now, also too, Weather Underground has affiliation with the Weather Channel, as well as IBM. I'm not exactly sure if it's a professional organization or a nonprofit. No matter what, it is really a valuable service they're providing, and a testament to crowdsourcing on projects. So, like I say, there's 250,000 of these weather stations out there hooked up to Weather Underground that provides a lot more information on top of what your traditional radar, satellite images, and all this stuff provide. So,
nice.
The more information you have, the better you're able to deal with foul weather situations. So, as you know, being in that area where you're at, you deal with tornadoes and all stuff like that, you can never have too little information. Or too much information, I mean.
Right.
So, by the way, since you were in that, what's the worst, hurricanes-wise, what's the worst one you've ever been into?
Hurricane or tornado?
Tornado. Sorry.
Well, I've watched tornadoes from a distance as a kid. And, I've gone into an inner hallway in protection before, and I've driven around and seen the damage afterwards. Never actually have been in the middle of one where my life was in danger. Always it was after the fact. I remember my dad and I, as a kid, we drove around and we saw fences that were kind of wadded up in a ball. Mm-hmm. And there was times where we'd have a storage, like a wheat bin or something, that would be blown over and just skipping across the field. Mm-hmm. I saw a house that had been destroyed one time by a tornado, and it opened up a drawer and scattered a bunch of playing cards, and one of the playing cards was sitting in the windowsill.
Wow.
So just kind of bizarre kind of things sometimes tornadoes do. There have been cases where it took a straw and embedded the straw into a tree.
The wind's going so fast.
Yeah, it just, and the way they test these storm shelters is they'll take 2x4s and shoot them like a cannon into a wall, and if the wall can sustain it, then that's kind of the way they test these tornado shelter rooms.
Interesting.
Because the real thing that's dangerous in tornadoes is getting hit by flying debris.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what's a funny thing with that? There is this comedian that talked about this one guy who lives in Key West, Florida, and he decided he's gonna tie himself to a palm tree and face Irma on the beach.
Yeah, not a good
And
idea.
he said the guy said, you know, it's if I'm gonna see if I can handle the 150-mile-an-hour wind. And the community said, it's not the wind that's gonna kill you; it's what the wind is gonna throw at you that's gonna kill you. So
If nothing else, it'd be like getting sandblasted. There have been
yeah,
cases where cattle, they'll get sandblasted and some of their skin will be missing just because it's almost like sandblasting a piece of steel.
hmm,
The outer layer is missing.
yeah. You know, over here in California, we don't get much weather, but we get those earthquakes.
Hmm.
And in fact, a lot of my friends who were in Florida, um, you know, they were former Californians, and I asked a few of them, what's worse? And they said definitely hurricane, because earthquake, you don't know what's going to, you can't prepare for it. You can, but it just happens.
Right.
But all this waiting around, you know, she said, one friend of mine says, you know, they knew it a week out that's going to come. So everybody started freaking out and packing things up and boarding things up and all this stuff. And when it came, like I said, they're kind of cut off of information. So all I could do is sit there and wait, hope and pray. And fortunately, they got out unscathed. They had very little property damage, um, way less than expected. Now they're out of power, and a lot of debris everywhere. Kind of hard to get around, but it was a lot less than they expected to happen. So they said the stress of of dealing with the worst case scenario before it happened. She said that was a lot worse than dealing with an earthquake. So
Well, I thought about starting a new hobby, storm chasing. But then I decided, I really want to live. But that may change.
uh-huh.
I mean, once the bills pile up, maybe then I'll be storm chasing extraordinaire.
Yeah, you become another superhero in that aspect. So
No, I have friends that are storm chasers. Seems kind of crazy. They're always posting videos, Facebook videos, when they're out chasing some tornado somewhere.
hmm,
So I bet you they use Weather Underground or some other thing to
hmm,
help figure out exactly where the tornado is.
probably. So anyway, so what do you think of all this weather underground stuff so far?
Oh, it sounds awesome. I mean, I'm not going to invest and become Mr. Superhero, but I'll get the app,
Hmm.
and when the weather's bad, I'll chart it up and figure out where it's going.
Okay.
Maybe then my friends will start relying on me.
You become the hero. That's something else there too. I'm thousands of miles away. I was a more reliable source to my friends directly in the path of Irma.
And
Uh,
you and I have also talked about how sometimes Twitter can serve as an instant news source.
mhm.
What do you think about use of Twitter as it relates to charting weather?
I don't. Well, it's kind of Twitter's a vehicle of announcing the information, not necessarily creating the information, and that's what Weather Underground is better at.
Mm.
So they're
Well, I
literally
guess
pulling.
you could use Weather Underground, and when you had information, you could put it out on Twitter, and
Yeah,
then it becomes with a specific hashtag,
yeah. In
and
fact,
then
it's
people
after
could
the
search
fact.
for it.
I probably should have used Hootsuite to post whatever I was finding on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, all that stuff with a hashtag. I basically was on going off of. I was reporting myself through one news feed on Facebook. A lot is because I was concerned my friend would lose me if we started posting everyplace else. So I want to make sure she had all the information in front of her. So
Okay.
and it worked out. I mean, they found out I was able to track the storm to the mile, and they knew exactly where it was compared to compared to where they're at.
That's
And
awesome.
they would not have known if it wasn't for me, and
Right.
them and the people in the shelter they were at. So, so I feel good about that.
You
Maybe
should.
maybe I am a little superhero or something like that. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
so anyway, probably a good idea to wrap up the show. So,
Okay.
like I say, you folks out there, in summary here, if you're into weather-prone areas like Florida or in the Tornado Alley or whatever, even sunny Southern California, probably a good idea to install Weather Underground. So first of all, you can access weather wherever you want, however you want, with a lot more information for all the community sourced stuff. Also, you get to participate in this, but just having the app, you can be out on the ground, let's say, and if you got weather on, you can post pictures and post videos and stuff like that, so other people know what's going on. So it's a free app. It's Weather Underground, or WU, on obviously you're on Android, or you're on iPhone, so it's on the iPhone as well as Android stores for all that stuff. I don't make no money out of that because it's free, so I'm going to post that out there. So also in closing here too, Dale, I'm going to give you a time to post your stuff, your shameless plug. But on my end, if you want to drive more customers to your business, cheaper and faster, if you need to use the internet better for your business, we can help you. Give us a call, except for a free consultation. Contact us at primeconsult.net. You can call us at 760-247-4814, or send an email to info@primeconsult.net. And by the way, don't forget to take advantage of our sponsors' great offer, Carbonite 15-day free trial at primeconsult.net/link/carbonite. Dale, your shameless plug.
Well, you can connect with me on Twitter at Dale Perryman. You can visit my website at jackofalltraining.com. You can connect on Facebook at the Center for Organizational Learning. So I would love to hear from you, start a conversation. I'm heavily involved in actively trading the stock market. Would love to share ideas related to that. I do coaching, one-on-one coaching, as well as personal training and development for corporate. So if your corporation needs a keynote speech or some training and development work, I'm your guy. Give me a call and let's chat.
And your number?
What's that?
And your number?
You can reach me at Dale Perryman at sbcglobal.net.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Anyway, Dale, thanks for being on the show. You're going to be on here more often, whether you like it or not.
Sounds good, Dan.
All right. Okay, thanks for thanks for listening to this episode. Thanks for watching and listening, and good luck and Godspeed to your online success.